So I would think it's more to do with you individually. If you don't present a good personality, you're gonna always have problems. The guys with good personalities never have problems. I've seen a lot of guys that travel Africa and they never complain. So I think some people even get too much love. It's really, if to tell you the truth. So Kobe says the shock factor taking place for most of the passport bros because what they thought of Africa isn't panning out. Yeah, it's not. I think that's where the problem is. They were pre-imagining Africa like Sosua, that you can literally sleep with any chick you see. You can with little or no effort, like you can be a dusty and all the girls will come to you. But that's not really true. Like if you want to see where your game is in Africa, and I wanted to say this on the chat, and Kobe, correct me if I'm wrong. If you want to see where your game level is in Africa before you even go, there's a big African community here in the US. Different countries, different sectors, like people are crowded in certain spaces. So if you're going to Liberia, go to Philadelphia. If you're going to Kenya, go to Seattle or New Jersey. If you're going to Ghana, go to Houston, Dallas, New York, Maryland, Virginia. These are all known places that have a big Ghanaian, Nigerian, African presence. Go to these, they do all this. Like here in Dallas, every weekend there's an African function. You just buy a ticket and go to a $10 cover. And just measure yourself with the same African girls that are already here. Because they're still, even though they live in the US, they're still really traditional. I mean, I have friends that are marrying them here. So it's not like they've completely gone local. No, that's not true. So if you really like African women and you want to date African women, they are already here in the US. There's a lot of them that are single. So I mean, take try your shot here and see where you stand, see how it goes. If it doesn't go too well for you here, you're probably not gonna have a lot of success over there. But you still will get something over there. You just won't get something that is deemed worthy. That's where the problem is. Like you're gonna pick up a bit of the crumbs, it's so to speak, the ones that the locals don't really want or that are really not meant to be with long term. So I would test if like you're really deep into like that, like for some reason all you want to do get is an African girl. There's what, almost a million of them here. Try your luck here and see where you stand. That might give you a preview into who you are as a man and what you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? That's where I look at it. Like if you can't date one here, well, you can date over there, but you're just not gonna get something of quality. And what's gonna happen is that the even if you get something of quality there, when you bring them here, they're gonna run off. They're going to run off due to the fact that there's going to be men in that community already here in the US that could be pushing towards that too. So you got to get your money up, man. That's all I keep saying. You got to get your money up. Make sure that you have beautiful character, you're kind. That'll go a long way. But if you're going there and thinking that you're gonna get something just because you're an American, I think you're gonna run into a lot of trouble. You're gonna have you got some more surprises coming your way. And which is, yeah, and I agree with Kobe here. I think that's part of the shocker is they're not having that success that they would have in Colombia or in Sosua over there in Africa. Like you got to bring at least a little bit of something, a bit of cash, money. African women love money, man. In the other stream, and I just clipped it, you guys can see it on the channel, where I talk about how my friends are paying the mortgage by themselves, man. It's not like they don't want to. They wouldn't like some help, but you're expected to pay. Yeah, you're expected to pay. So you got to go there with that mindset that you have to pay, and money is this whole conversation they had on that stream circles back to money, and these men now wanting to work on themselves. The other part too is that they're going there when they're so young and they don't really have life experience. And thirdly, they're taking all the advice from what's the name of that guy, KG and Austin, two Gen Z people that have only been traveling for a few months. I mean, guys, what are you doing, right? So that's I think that's what the problem really is that they're not dating what they qualify for, and they also don't have the means or the money to really support a healthy relationship. So if you just want to do 3 or 4 activities, I don't think Africa is for you, really, to be honest. Like, Africa is not a real known sex destination. It's not gonna be. You might have it's too traditional for it to be. You will have it in the cities, right? You'd have like the major cities participating. There are some bad girls that would do it. But overall, all cultures combined, it's not a known destination for sex tourism. So a lot of the guys will not be impressed. That's the problem. Like, it's not that they hate blacks or whatever. No, a lot of the guys will not be impressed because culturally that's just not who they are. You might find a few girls that are prostituting or selling, and they've always been there. They've been part of our society, right? There's always been outcasts. There's always been outliers. So I overheard one guy say, "Oh, but there are girls there that are working." I say, "Yeah, yeah. Every society has outliers. Some of them, their parents don't even know they are working. Some also grow up with trauma. Some don't have both parents. We are humans. It happens. The same problems here, same problems there. So you find that these girls that are doing this in the main cities are only in the main cities. If you go in the interior, you don't start. That's a lot of that starts to fade away, and a lot of that culture starts to show up. And that's why we're saying if your goal is to like look for a wife, you want to completely get out of the cities because the cities really look like the US. Like, you're gonna find them just as comfortable as the cities here in the US with the same problems that you're running away from. So you want to completely get outside of the cities and go inside where it's a little bit more traditional. But overall, African society is traditional, is gonna remain traditional like that. It's going to remain really deeply conservative. So it's that I think this is where part of the clash is coming from. That you're going there and you're expecting it to be a sosua, and you're expecting everybody to open their arms and hug you, but then you're finding out that that's really different. People are a bit more reserved. People don't really care that you're there. Uh, which it's just they're just different people, and it's not out of hate. It's just that they're different. These people are just different. So if you're going there, you're about your tourism, you're about dating organically. Organic dating is like going into the right places, meeting the right woman. I overheard somebody in the chat say, go to a church. Yeah, you find quality when you do that. You really will find quality when you do that. But if you're out there in the nightclubs, you popping bottles, like that, yesterday we went over the red flags. So, yeah, you're not gonna win when you do that. So I think this is where a lot of the misunderstanding is. Like, they thought that place would be like a Sosua or a Cartagena, and it's not. It's really not gonna be like that there. It never will be. Maybe South Africa to an extent will be, but most of Africa will not be like that.